real world in the near future. Though, you know, we could still see them coming out of Nado.
True enough.
At the minute, he's just going to be getting up the regular old kind of Reaper expand. And,
he's getting the Marine, actually. So he
Oh,
will
really?
continue to collect gas. Yeah, he had the perfect 50, and he's going to keep going.
Interesting. So this gets him his factory a little bit faster, I guess. And he may decide to proxy it. I don't know where the SCV is actually rallied to. I think it is, yeah, the SCV is just going to go into the base and scout around it, not any kind of proxy factory shenanigans. But factory is being started back at home. And, yeah, I mean, you get the factory out a little faster. You still get scouting done with this SCV, so I think it's fine to skip the Reaper.
Yep, and Nexus coming down there for our Protoss player, pretty much in line with a fairly normal timing. And a second gas being grabbed by Nado. And second gas being grabbed by Blysk, a.k.a. Kiwikaki.
A.k.a. Kiwikaki. Yes. That is definitely going to catch me out a couple of times tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Good old French-Canadian Protoss. So we've got this SCV's hiding up by this minor line. I don't know whether or not he would do anything from there. Probably not, since the starport is also coming down in the home base of NATO. And
yeah, I guess
he's working on a tech lab on that factory, so this could be Banshee.
Definitely a possibility here. A little bit unusual seeing Banshee opener versus Protoss, but it completely has the potential to do quite a lot of annoying damage. But
yeah, he had these Marines out front too, like doing this patrol that might be like the anti-Mothership Corps scouting patrol.
Ah, yeah, I guess so.
Something. So
I was kind of wondering why they're out there. That does make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that tech lab switch, I don't know, to our starport is actually a Raven coming out.
That's quite interesting.
Yeah, we're going to see some PDDs come out. A PDD will negate photon overcharge for the first few seconds of it. It completely negates stalker fire as well. And I mean, zealots, you just kite back against it. It can be really, really cool. 2 PDDs negate a photon overcharge for the entire they used to negate photon overcharge for the entire duration. Now that their own duration has been nerfed, they negate it for their full 20 or 30 seconds lifetime. But yeah, this is going to be a really interesting little 1-1-1 push to come out of Nado, although he is adding a second barracks on just to throw things off a little bit. This is going to be really cool.
Yeah, it could be quite strong here. The factory is, or the robotics facility is what Blysk has gone with. He's pumped out 1 observer working on a second so far. And he's very stalker heavy, which is obviously where you don't want to be when you do face that PDD.
God, yeah. And the tank as well.
Yeah, the tank. So hopefully he'll get an immortal for himself. But none is being started just yet. Nado, I think he's maybe expecting, given his observer. Yeah.
He's moving out, the exact right time. Because this is the timing the observer comes in, boom. And still no information. This is nothing, I mean, the Raven's a little unusual to see.
Yeah.
But that's not like a panic moment, I feel, for Blysk. And it should be, because there's no natural base for Nado. He's going to be pulling some SCVs with this, moving out with a couple of tanks, a load of Marines, a Raven and a Banshee. And this is a really scary push. Photon overcharge not going to be enough to hold this for Blysk.
Yeah, I tend to agree. There will be 1 immortal out by the time they get there, I believe. But yeah, this could be trouble. Definitely.
Yeah, Nado's going to walk in, and Kiwikaki will know he will be trouble. But for now, the Raven's got enough energy for 1 PDD, could throw it down. At the minute, he's just going to try and get a good siege location. Kiwikaki, okay, he knows he's being in trouble, actually. He has just killed 1 of his probes so he can get out some extra units. But the siege tank sieged up. There goes Photon Overcharge. PDD is not being used just yet. Nado's going to... he outranges Photon Overcharge, but he needs the vision of it. So he's going to try and move back and forth a little bit, try and find a good angle, use these SCVs to build some forward bunkers and siege tank repositions. It can hit that piling up on the high ground if the high ground vision is there.
The Colossus coming out can help if it can get good fire, obviously, on Marines and SCVs. It'll rip them apart, but it is vulnerable to the tanks on the low ground. especially. And yeah, still no PDD.
Yeah, and I think because of the duration nerf, it actually hurts this kind of push quite a lot. Nado has to be quite careful about when he actually puts that PDD down. He wants it to get maximum value. He wants it to be when Kiwikaki's moving in with the Stalkers as well. But here's a lot of bunkers going down here. The Immortal's going to take one of them out. The cancel does go down there, and Nado, yep, there's the first PDD. It's going to be absorbing a lot of this Stalker fire, leaving the Banshees free to rain down Death and Blood. The Colossus falls down as well. The Immortal shield's almost all stripped away. And yeah, these Banshees are doing some sterling work here. They could almost focus down that last Immortal, but a second Colossus comes in to try and help this defense.
Yeah, and that Immortal, unfortunately, was actually fairly close, if not in range of the tanks, but wasn't target firing. Or else probably could have taken 2 out in that amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
The Colossus getting a little close. Doesn't have range, of course, so this natural face will end up falling.
Yeah, it's the same. Colossus without range is the same range as Marines in a bunker. Yeah. And oh man, these Banshees still alive, both of them, doing so much work. And Blysk, I think he knows it's over. He just wants to check what who's up against. Sorry, says Nado. So mana. GG.
It's such Hello, we are back here, and we are on at Coda, and for the second game of this round-robin type format that we're doing tonight, as one player is missing. Down here on the bottom right-hand side of the map, we have our green Protoss player. He is not actually Kiwikaki, he is Blysk.
And his opponent up in the top left-hand side, taking a 1-0 lead with a strong one-base push there. Game number 1. What's he going to bring out? Game number 2. It is Wise Spider's red Terran player, Nado.
Indeed, and curious if Blysk will go for earlier scouting, like maybe send a stalker out, something like that. He's actually taken both gas right off the bat, so he's going to be fairly tech heavy, I believe. And Nado, given that he went 1 base last time, is going command center first this time.
Yeah, I mean, completely switching direction from the last game. I'm going to be getting that, or attempting to hold that econ lead with a little bit of a CC first coming on. We'll see what his follow-up is. Players have been leaning more and more, I feel, towards following up with 2 or 3 barracks. But you can play it really greedily and go for the barracks factory starport as well. I don't think we're going to see that from Nado, though. He hasn't put down any gases yet. And Kiwikaki, Blysk, I guess, is opening up with his 2 gases, 2 in each. I think they went down at 15, so just kind of regular.
Yeah, he's actually pulled gases. 1 out. He's keeping just 1 in the slower one.
Yeah.
He had 2 for a second, but then he pulled it out. Okay, now he's got 2 again. So it's not as heavy as would have been indicated by how early it was, and he's taking a Nexus there as well.
Yeah, it's interesting as well. I mean, it gets him enough gas for the Mothership core, but he delays his warp gate a little bit. I guess his initial Stalker a little bit. And I guess one of the weaknesses of this will be it's not as good against Reapers, but that's going to be pretty fine for Blysk, because Nado's actually not going Reapers, so that's pretty nice for him.
Yeah, we'll be okay. Blysk putting obviously this proxy pylon down on the bottom left-hand side of the map, which is not all that surprising. Stargate. It's still a bit far away, but I guess it's a bit closer and obviously outside of the range of the watchtower.
Yeah.
Or wouldn't have to go by it.
Well, I mean, most importantly, it's just hidden. It's something Nado's not
hidden,
expect, especially given there's no Reaper.
Yeah.
So any scans, anything into the main base isn't really going to see it. Even counting the pylons gets a little bit more difficult to do at this stage in the game, which is kind of one of the usual ways you scout proxy something, and in PvT, there's something that's usually Stargate. But this rally point for the scouting SCV going around all the proxy locations, all the possible locations, is going to get a spot on that. I think some things tip Nado off to the proxy, because he's got a Marine up in the top right.
Well, he had to notice too, if he was paying attention when he got in there, he noticed 2 gas being mined, and when that cyber core was done, it did not start researching anything the entire time he was there.
Very true.
So that's a bit weird for them to see.
Yep. Very true, very astute observations. And so having identified the proxy Stargate, a couple of missile targets go down the mineral lines, he should be okay against it, especially given that obviously Blysk has gone for a much further away proxy, which is going to mean this Stargate, this Oracle arrives a little later. And he didn't get the benefit of not having it scouted, or the potential benefit of not having it scouted. It'll still find 1 or 2 SCVs, I expect, because they just typically do. Oh, actually, just damage to 2, and oh my god, it goes down as well. That's the worst.
That's pretty bad. Yeah,
that's one of the worst oracles I've seen. That is actually like the worst case scenario. 0 damage done. A heavy investment into that oracle. Second one comes in as well because Blysk really has to get something done.
And and here in Nado, realizing the commitment that went into that is just coming across with nothing but Marines. And I mean, photon overcharge sure can stop him, but he's probably even got time to wait outside.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, this is usually
not really anything.
Yeah, this is usually around the time where a Terran player will kind of move out just to force the photon overcharge, keep that mothership core energy managed. But I mean, he's going to march straight past. The mothership core isn't really in position, so he's actually going to get a he gets a sentry there, which is more than he usually.
He'll just go after probes. So yeah, this is quite a good move as well. He'll end up losing most of these, if not all. I like the move into the main
main base. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fires on command, take out the Stalker as well, and they're gonna not get the second Stalker, but running away, they might be able to pick off 1 or 2 more probes. So yeah, these have done really well for themselves so far. Having, 13 Marines went down there, and they've killed off like 9 probes, a Stalker, a Sentry, and an Oracle. So very much paying for themselves. Really effective there. Across the map, the Oracle, second one coming in, isn't going to be able to find any more damage than the first, really. But at least it survives.
Got here as well. No, gets the revelation off at least, and then we'll get out.
Yeah, so
these Marines can't be sneaky for a while. Not that they were planning on it.
They are not ghosts. They can't research personal cloaking and sneak around. But yeah, so Stim's done, or Stim's approaching done. Combat Shields is getting there as well. And Nado's getting all his pieces of the puzzle together with his +1 attack upgrade as well. And so it looks like he's moving out with his second force here. And the Mothership Core will have another photon overcharge by the time he arrives. But, actually, Oracle manages to find some damage here, delaying these units, or these buildings even, killing off the SCVs, constructing them. And the second starport as well. That's an interesting little scout. That's, I feel, a little earlier than is typical.
Yeah.
It's not something that's too unusual.
Picks off the observer there. Still no healing support with this army, and there's a Colossus out, so this may not be great. He'll just kind of kite back here a little. Just 1 or 2 losses.
Yeah, obviously much better defense that time.
Yeah.
By Blysk. I mean, it's just a little bit late in game. He has those units out. He has the Colossus, and
it's going to take the medevacs and the first couple of Vikings to come out, which are actually out in order to combat that. But with no healing, that's hard. But with even a little bit of healing, there's not much DPS in that Protoss army, not just yet.
Yeah, this Marine in the bottom left, the most cost-efficient Marine in the game. He's doing it, even. Oh my god. It's killed off 1 pylon. It's going to kill off this Stargate eventually. And so that's going to be incredibly cost-efficient. I'm going to watch it to see when he stims it again. It's being microed. Nado coming in with a little bit of a drop.
He was just checking. Those were empty, which is neat.
Okay, those are empty.
Yeah, and Blink is done, so those Stalkers have the increased mobility.
Yeah, they're going to need it against the SCV
well. Yeah. And SCVs are coming with this, too. A lot of them.
Yeah, Kiwi Kaki.
Yeah.
Kiyukaki, I think, saw that, though, with the Observer, so he knows what's on the way. Nado with a few Vikings, and the SCVs are going to march up this natural base now. There is a Photon Overcharge, there's 2 Colossi, and we'll see how well they can do. The SCVs do a great job tanking those Zealots for now, and the first Colossus has gone down. The second one's also going to fall. Mighty Viking force here from Nado in the skies. The military core goes down as well, and Nado is taking down a ton of probes.
Yeah, Vikings landing here behind the Immortals do take them out. The Stalkers going down as well, and this is just an overwhelming force even underneath that Photon Overcharge. Will now target the Nexus down, and as that falls, exactly, very strong timing there overall, and yeah, GG.
Thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe to support the ASL by hitting the button now.